This story is about Bobby T. Squirrel when he was a baby, okay? And how he came about and how he was cared for. So, like I say, the name of the story that I'm reading this morning is His Name is Robert. Robert T. Squirrel was born in August. It was a hot day, which was ideal for newborn squirrels. Robert was the smallest kit of the three born to Twyla and Tobias Squirrel. The largest was a boy. Tobias lifted the bigger male child and admired him. His mother asked, "What shall we call this boy?" Tobias had once heard Mr. Twib read a book about Alexander the Great. Mr. Twib always read aloud. "We'll name him Alexander the Great," Tobias said. Great for short. Twyla liked the name. She held a baby girl squirrel in her paws. Squirrels have long claws for grabbing tree limbs, so she was careful not to scratch her baby. "I'll name her Pink," she said. Mother Twib said pink is for girls. Their attention turned to the runt of the litter. The smallest kit squirmed as his parents wondered over him. "He looks so small and sickly," she said. "What can we do for him?" Tobias said. Twyla lifted her small baby and cuddled him. She said, "We must do something." Tears dripped from her cheeks onto her little boy squirrel. Just then she heard Mother and Father Twib having coffee on their patio. Twyla raised her eyebrows. "I'll take him to Mother Twib. She raised me when I was an orphan. She'll know what to do." So Twyla Squirrel carried her failing baby down the tree and across the lawn. As Mother Twib spread jelly on her toast, Twyla appeared. "You have a baby," said Mrs. Twib. "Chirp, bark, chirp," said Twyla. Mother Twib tilted her head. Twyla chirped, barked, and flicked her tail. Then she raised her baby. "Oh, Twyla," said Mother Twib, "he's so tiny." Twyla chirped, and Mrs. Twib knew what she meant. "Please help." Mother Twib leaned over and took the baby kit between two fingers. "Look, Father, it's a baby squirrel." Father Twib had been watching while he sipped his coffee. "Suppose you'll raise it like you did Twyla." Mother Twib said, "I must. He's so little and helpless." Father Twib leaned closer and looked over his reading glasses. "Mother, you know you'll have to feed him every 2 hours, even at night. It's a lot of work." Mother Twib smiled at Father Twib. "I know, but it will be worth it." Mother Twib admired the kit. "Your baby will be safe with me." Twyla flicked her tail. Mother Twib said, "You're welcome." Twyla turned to rush back to her nest. After all, she had 2 other babies that needed her attention. She bounced through the soft grass and leaped to the tree. Just before she entered her nest, she looked back at Mother Twib, who was cuddling the infant squirrel. Twyla chirped, then slipped into her nest. For weeks, Twyla was a busy mother. She had 2 infants. During the day, she'd hunt for acorns and berries, but every 2 hours she'd rush home to feed her babies. At night, she snuggled next to the pair of squirrels to keep them warm. In 4 weeks, her babies opened their eyes and saw their mother for the first time. It was a happy day for the squirrel family. But Twyla had a yearning to see her other baby. "Tobias, watch the children," she chirped. "I'll be back soon." Twyla dashed along the long branch in the tall oak tree, then down the trunk with ease. She was in luck. The Twib family was sitting on the patio at the big red umbrella table. Twyla bounded across the lawn until she sat at Mother Twib's feet. "Chirp, bark, chirp," Twyla said. Mother Twib said, "Well, good morning, Mother Squirrel." Twyla flicked her bushy tail 3 times. Twice may have been enough, but she was excited. Mother Twib smiled. "I suppose you want to see Bobby." Mrs. Twib lifted a colorful basket. Twyla had seen it on Easter when the Twib grandchildren hunted for eggs. Mother Twib lowered the basket and set it on the concrete. All Twyla could see was fluffy white cotton until Mother Twib pulled it apart. She said, "Isn't he precious?" Twyla nodded. The little boy squirrel was asleep. Twyla slipped into the basket and sniffed at her son. Then she glanced up at Mother Twib with grateful eyes. Mother Twib's lips curled up as she watched Twyla nuzzle her boy. Then the most amazing thing happened. Bobby opened his eyes for the first time, and he saw his mother. He stared for a moment, then cuddled next to her and closed his eyes. Bobby fell asleep. "I named him Bobby," said Mother Twib. "His full name is Robert T. Squirrel. Do you like it?" Twyla chirped her approval. Then she pulled the cotton over Bobby. "I will keep him warm and safe for you," said Mother Twib. Twyla flicked her tail with approval, then darted back to her nest. Twyla chattered as Tobias smiled. He was pleased to hear that his little runt son had survived. He hoped they would spend many hours together in the live oak tree in the Twib's backyard. The end.